So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day our producer Louis had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithm really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could Xtra whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track Xtra. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Downs. I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, and welcome to another episode of On the Track Xtra. When I told Miss Guinevere, Gwyn Palmer, the lady who's my chosen successor as ringmaster, or should that be ringmistress of this circus, when I finally hang my hat up, and this is the hat I shall be hanging up, when I told her what today's episode was about, she said, "Surely those creatures don't live in England, do they?" To which I said, "Not usually, but occasionally." So let's wait and see. I hope you enjoy this. Dartmoor Forest is an upland area in the middle of Devon. The moorland and surrounding land has been protected by national park status since 1951. The granite that forms the uplands, which cover 954 square kilometres, or, if like me you only understand old money, 368 square miles, dates from the Carboniferous period of geological history. The landscape consists of moorland capped with many exposed granite hilltops known as tors, providing habitats for wildlife. The highest point is High Woolhays, 621 metres, that's 2,037 feet above sea level, and the entire area is rich in antiquities and archaeological artefacts. I love Dartmoor. I've been going there ever since 1969, and I think it is a beautiful and magical place that really doesn't seem to have anything much to do with the rest of modern Britain. My father was a Dartmoor man. He was born in the little village of Peter Tavy in 1925, that's 100 years ago this year, and he was always proud of his heritage as a moorman. Despite its apparent desolation, Dartmoor has a rich and impressive biodiversity. Pine martens, which are at the moment being reintroduced there, were found at least as recently as the 1970s, despite the fact that they were supposed to have been extinct in the south of England nearly a century before. And there are quite a few sightings of these beautiful little creatures, including a dead one found on the south of the moor a few years ago, which do suggest that either the species never actually completely became extinct here, or that unofficial reintroduction projects have been taking place prior to the official one, which is being taken place at the moment. Bernard Heuvelman is known to you all as the father of cryptozoology, and H.G. Hurrell, a Devonshire naturalist, both believed that it was possible that wolves had survived in the north of Dartmoor in areas which have been sequestered by the British Army on and off for the last 200 years. wolves were supposed to have become extinct in Britain in the 15th or 16th centuries, but there have been reports, and the ones on Dartmoor are particularly intriguing. But what about this latest sighting? The village of Two Bridges is a tiny village in the middle of Dartmoor, and it's a place that I'm very fond of. Vultures are birds of prey that scavenge on carrion. There are 23 existing species of vultures, including condors, and 16 of them live in the Old World, that's Europe, Africa and Asia. New World vultures are restricted to North and South America, and although they include the largest birds of prey in the world, they are only very distantly related to Old World vultures. The Old World vultures are closely related to hawks and eagles, and the New World vultures, believe it or not, are most closely related to cranes, and this is a wonderful example of convergent evolution in action. But vultures in Devonshire, in Britain even, vultures anywhere in Britain? Surely not. Well, according to the British list, yes, there is at least one species of vulture known from Britain, and that is the Egyptian vulture, also known as the white scavenger vulture or Pharaoh's chicken. It's a small Old World vulture in the monotypic genus Neophron. It's widely distributed from the Iberian Peninsula, the North Africa, West Asia and India, and its contrasting underwing pattern and wedge-shaped tail make it distinctive in flight as it soars and thermals during the warmer part of the day. And this is the only vulture species to be found on Schedule B of the British list. And for those of you not in the know, species in Category B have been recorded in an apparently natural state at least once, between the 1st of January 1800 and the 31st of December 1949, but have not been recorded subsequently. Ah, it has been recorded subsequently. Oh, goodness me, it's also, together with various other vultures, on Schedule E. There are 3 accepted records of the Egyptian vulture in Britain. One was shot in Somerset in 1825, and another one was seen in Essex in 1868. And most excitingly, one was seen on the Isles of Scilly in 2021, for the first time in 150 years. But there have been lots more records. As it says here on the Rare Bird Alert, the Egyptian vulture is held in captivity in multiple collections in Britain and has been proved or presumed to have escaped here on several occasions, including Hampshire and Sussex in 1969, Carmarthenshire, Ceredigion in Cornwall, Norfolk and Dorset in 2012, and Warwickshire in 2018 and 2020. And if you look at Category E of the British list, which comprises, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to quote now, I'm on the British Ornithologist Union website. Category E comprises those species that have been recorded as introductions, human-assisted transportees or escapees from captivity, whose breeding populations, if any, are thought not to be self-sustaining. And in Category E, there are a whole bunch more vultures. We've got the turkey vulture and the black vulture from the New World vultures. We have the bearded vulture, the Egyptian vulture, the white-backed vulture, the white-rumped vulture, the Indian vulture, and the Ruffles vulture, and the griffin vulture, and the cinereous vulture, all which are assumed to have escaped from captivity. The cinereous vulture is the Old World's largest vulture, but coming back up in second place, behind Nicholas van What's face, is the bearded vulture, or lammergeier, and this is what was seen in 2 bridges on Dartmoor earlier this month. A lady called Marie Coppola posted this on the Devon Birds website on the 5th of May 2025. At around 2:40 p.m. I am convinced the bird that flew in front of my car was a lammergeier just before the junction of the 2 bridges driving on the B321, as driving was unable to take the photo. The lammergeier, or bearded vulture, Gypaetus barbatus, is a very large bird of prey in the monotypic genus Gypaetus. The bearded vulture is the only known vertebrate whose diet consists 70–90% of bone. Traditionally considered to be an Old World vulture, it actually performs a separate minor lineage of Gypaetus together with the Egyptian vulture, its closest living relative. It's not much more closely related to the Old World vultures proper than to, for example, hawks and others, from the former by its feathered neck. Although dissimilar, the Egyptian and bearded vulture each have a lozenge-shaped tail, unusual amongst birds of prey. It's vernacularly known as Homer, a bird in Iranian mythology. The bearded vulture population is thought to be in decline, whereas in 2004 it was classified on the IUCN Red List as of least concern. It's now been listed as near threatened since 2014. It lives and breeds on crags and high mountains in Iran, southern Europe, East Africa, the Indian subcontinent, Tibet, and the Caucasus. Females lay 1 or 2 eggs in midwinter that hatch at the beginning of spring. The bearded vulture is considered a threatened species in Iran. Iranian mythology considers the rare bearded vulture, which in Persian is Homer, the symbol of luck and happiness. It was believed that if the shadow of Homer fell on one, he would rise to sovereignty, and anyone shooting the bird would die within 40 days. The Greek playwright Aeschylus was said to have been killed by one of these, by a tortoise dropped by an eagle who mistook his bald head for a stone. If this incident did occur, the bearded vulture is a likely candidate for the eagle in this story. In Tibet, corpses are fed to this vulture. The rite is called a sky burial and is accompanied by prayers and mantras for the deceased person. There is a specialist assigned to this task, which occurs high in the mountains where the vultures swoop down to eat the bones. The birds are blessed too. They are called jagod in the Tibetan language. In the Bible, however, and in the Torah, in the book of Leviticus, and if you want to look this up, this is Leviticus 11, verse 13, the bearded vulture, known as the ossifrage, is amongst the birds forbidden to be eaten. There are 2 records of bearded vultures from the Alps reintroduction schemes which have reached the United Kingdom, with the first sighting taking place in 2016 in Wales and the West Country. A series of sightings that took place in 2020 when an individual bird was sighted separately over the Channel Islands of Alderney after migrating north through south, then in the Peak District, Derbyshire, Cambridgeshire and Lincolnshire. The bird, nicknamed Vigo, by Tim Birch of the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust originated from the reintroduced population in the Alps. As these two birds were both released captive birds, not wild, they've been placed in Category E and not added to the main British list. But wait, kiddies, there's more. Believe me, there's more. There's a final twist in the tale of this. I said a few minutes ago that the 2016 bird had been sighted in Wales and the West Country. Would you like to guess where in the West Country it was sighted? That's right, guys. Dartmoor. And what part of Dartmoor? In the vicinity of Two Bridges. Now, there are several possibilities here. One is that the bird from 2016 has come back 9 years later to visit its old haunts. 2, there is something about the Two Bridges area of Dartmoor which is irresistible to these magnificent raptors. 3, the 2016 bird never left. We know what happened to the 2020 bird. She was identified again 4 years later in the Alps. So these birds can travel magnificent lengths of distance over a long period of time. But where did the 2025 bird come from? Is it time, at last, for the lammergeier to end up on the main British list of birds? Or is it just another escapee from captivity? Or is it possibly the same escapee from captivity that went there 9 years ago? You're just going to have to wait and see. But as soon as I find out anything, I will tell you about it. So, watch this space because I'm going to be seeing you.